All right, I think we're good. My bad on that. Well, we're back. So, many things to talk about here. Many things to talk about. Um, we enjoyed the show. I made a post on Instagram. You guys can go check that out, of course. Instagram is in the description. I got to live out what I consider to be a dream. And not that many of you, actually, hold on. Let me do something real quick. Expand this out a bit. Okay. Not that many of you really understand how big of like like this means to me. You know, I have went to two live events back when Vince was in charge. He used to do live events, so they weren't really televised. This was an actual Monday Night Raw, and to be featured on it, to even have WWE show shots of course, me and my cousins there was a fucking amazing. Met a lot of nice people who were into wrestling as well. Got some cool ass pictures with them. Um, my cousin even has a bit more, but we have a lot of videos, and I'm going to figure out a way to get them to you guys. Get them up on YouTube so you guys can see them. They might be short, like they might be reels because of how long they are, but it's gonna be mostly us yelling and screaming. So headphone users advise. Okay, this is a little advice for you guys. Don't wear your headphones if you don't want to hear screaming in your fucking ears. I'm just pointing that out. The experience was amazing. Actually, just to let you know, we got into the building. It took a while, but once we got in the building, I got myself a beer. I got myself a fucking Corona, in a can. We found our seats. We went up to the ring, got a couple pictures. We met a guy inside. Obviously, Brandon found us. You know, shout out, of course, Brandon. Great guy there. All decked out in Hardy gear. Um, the two people behind us and the three people in front of us, they were fucking amazing. The crowd, the people to the side of us was great. I will talk about all the moments and fucking from my point of view, and of course the audience who watched it from Netflix point of view. And you guys are gonna learn a lot of things. When it got down to like about an hour left, they started to do tape main event. No commentary for main event. So obviously there's probably an overlay of somebody's voice. You can't hear the commentators, obviously, because the commentators are for like the broadcasting. So you're not going to hear the commentators. Obviously we know that when they play like a promo or a segment, there's two screens up at the top, the corners in the Mass Mutual, and you got to see them play out. So we got to see a lot of Jay, Jimmy, LA Knight, yeah, yeet. So they did so just so you know, kind of points out the visual there. They did main event first, kind of gave two matches, six mixed tag team match, and then a squash match with Rusev in it. And then they started the show. Cena kicked off, cut a fiery ass promo, and we're gonna jump right into it soon. But the vibe, the feeling that I had there was so amazing. Like, I am such an introvert that, this is the type of shit that interests me. The problem is the money. The money's the biggest problem. I am trying to find ways to, you know, like save up the money so then I can be able to do these events again when they come back. And I want to thank WWE for stopping to the Mass Mutual Center. And please, for the love of all that is there, do it again. Everyone in Massachusetts and Springfield was fucking amazing. We were so on fire. Please come back. I will be there and I will get tickets, hopefully to be up closer. But the seats that we had were fucking perfect. They were perfect. And I can't wait to tell you all about that. But again, they were perfect. I love the experience there. You can also read my post on Instagram. A huge thanks to the WWE for showing up to the Mass Mutual Center. A big thanks to everybody involved at the Mass Mutual Center. We weren't recognized. Nobody, knew our channel at all. Guys that worked asked I got to see my boss was there with his kid, so we got to meet up and be there. We figured Jay was probably gonna walk down, and we would be standing up and eat. Everybody in the end was eating. Oh yeah, and hitting Yaz as well. I can't wait to tell you what all went down. So without further ado, also can't forget the Unseen 17, baby. I had to get a hat. I had to get a John Cena hat. I just had to. It felt right. The You Can't See Me, the color from his old football college, the number of his fucking football, the Never Give Up, the Rise Above Hate, and of course the Last Time Is Now. Obviously, this will forever be a once in a lifetime. You will never be able to get. I mean, actually, I don't want to say never, but you won't be able to get fucking like John Cena merch after fucking this. Also, he has 6 more dates left, and one of them's in Boston. And I'm hoping by October, I'll have enough, and whatever seats are left, I can get there. I'll drive up to Boston, and we'll see Cena one more time, one last time. But if I don't. If I do, I do. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll let you guys know. But I haven't been to the TD Garden at all. I have never been to the TD Garden, so I don't know what I'm in for. I know parking's gonna be a bitch. Getting the fuck out of there is gonna be a bitch. But for Springfield, it was perfect. I loved it. It was amazing. The stage was not fucking. It wasn't perfect, but again, nothing always is. The show was really amazing. I loved it. Please do it again. I would love for them to come back to Springfield again. They're probably not. They're probably not. But if they don't, again, this was a dream that I got to live out, and I've always wanted to be on a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown, but this was better. So, without further ado, let me fix this fucking camera positioning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about what went down on Monday Night Raw. Shall we? I think we shall. WWE hit the Netflix airwaves Monday night for the final go-home episode on the flagship show before WrestlePalooza. Taking over Indianapolis and ESPN this Saturday. Now, I just got to mention this. We will not be watching. Me and Lewis will not be watching WrestlePalooza. I know it's sad. We will have to watch it at a later date. We're probably going to get a lot of I'm already going to get a lot of news about who the fuck is winning. But I am still going to give you guys, and I promise you, even though I might not watch it, I still promise you guys a predictions video or stream. I give you guys a review, and I give you SmackDown. So this is how it's going to work because I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday along with my my god sister's birthday. We'll be at MGM. So you want to show up, talk, hang out, chill. That's perfect. I'm gonna be playing slots, getting drinking beer, and hopefully maybe watching the event. Maybe if they allow, maybe watching. But it's both nights on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be there. But again, I probably won't be able to catch WrestlePalooza. If I do, it's great. I hope. If not. But I promise you, I will give you guys the predictions this Thursday. I will also be giving you guys the review Sunday, and I will be giving you guys a SmackDown on Saturday, so you guys know what's going on. John Cena's final appearance before this marquee matchup against Brock Lesnar, and one last face-to-face featuring Punk, AJ Lee, Seth fucking Rollins, and Becky Lynch headline this broadcast. So what went down when we were in Springfield, Massachusetts? Baby. Well, let's talk about it. So, John Cena comes home. See, John Cena fed off the energy of his hometown crowd in Springfield, Massachusetts. When he came out, he literally said, "This is where the Simpsons live." Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I thought that was a nice little thing he did. On Monday night, kicking off the show with a fiery promo directed at Brock Lesnar and their match Saturday night at WrestlePalooza. He admitted to fearing Lesnar, added that he could very well fail, but exclaimed that he will never back down or quit. He founded Suplex City, and I'm still standing, he said. He warned Lesnar before wrapping up his promo to the delight of the WWE Universe. This fiery promo that Cena had, he even mentioned 2 fan signs that was there. Obviously, he mentioned that his short shorts are stronger and tougher and stiffer. Actually, maybe I should say stiffer. But they can hold up better than Lesnar's jeans. And I love the fact that he picked on the crowd. And, of course, he had a kid sign that said, "Never give up." And that was always what he's lived by. Cena's promo, everybody was chanting for Cena before the broadcast even fucking started. So, like, Triple H was probably sitting back there like, oh my God, they really, Triple H obviously loved all the fans. He wanted to see, like, everybody. But I'm a Triple H guy. And I know Triple H wanted to make sure that this was a great promo from Cena. I want to play this. You know me. I feel like I should because it's our episode. But you know what? I'm not going to. Because I'm not trying to get copyrighted by WWE. And if I do it, I don't know. But again, this is the promo that was needed. I'm going to tell you right now, this promo was definitely needed. Because I was leaning towards Lesnar in the predictions. After this promo, completely changed. Ball game changed. Completely up. This promo, it proves that Cena is not leaving without conquering a beast in Brock Lesnar. One last time. Brock Lesnar still got it in him. Brock Lesnar is still got, like, hungry. He's going to whoop Cena all over the place. But if you don't think Cena's going to come back and fight back, sure. Now, only thing that I have here is if this is the main event or not. If this is the main event of WrestlePalooza, then I think the best option would be to have, it probably would be Lesnar winning. But as after this promo, the way that things are headed, it looks like Cena is going to be he's going to whoop some ass. So, I hope it's, I don't know if I should say I hope it's not in the main event. It probably is, but Cody and McIntyre probably, I don't know. I'm indifferent about this. I can't really, I can't really pinpoint exactly if it's going to be the main event or if it's already confirmed to be the main event of WrestlePalooza. We'll have to find out until later. But this promo is definitely an A+, especially being a fan of Cena since fucking 2012 when I first came in. And fucking ever since then, it's just always been, hustle, loyalty, respect. I had to go back and even and look up his Dr. Thugonomics, his fucking, prototype. But yeah, the people in Springfield feel appropriately negatively about Lesnar, and that means a lot of cursing and a whoop his ass chance. And yes, there was a lot of fuck you Lesnar and a lot of whoop his ass. We all came into agreement on that. Everybody was there chanting that shit. So again, nobody does the match hyping promo like Cena. There may be better, more consistent promos, but when it comes to putting the final blow to the build to any PLE, Cena is the tops in the industry. So, moving from this, we got a scene with Jey Uso and fucking, maybe they mention it. No, they don't. So Jey Uso, or LA Knight and Jey Uso were seen actually at the start of this coming in the parking lot, almost coming to blows before Adam Pearce was like, enough, you two, come to my office right now. LA Knight, of course, being a little sissy, being a little, fucking bitter about it. Whatever. Anyway, we got to that scene, of course, in their office where LA Knight wants to deal with Braun and Bronson, but he needs and Adam Pearce says, you're not doing it alone, so you pick a tag team partner. You're allowing me to pick. Yeah, you want me to pick? You know what? I don't worry. I got a partner in mind. And looked at Jay and said, I'm picking your brother. So, fuck you, huh? At first, there was a little bit of a difference. Of course, Jimmy said, nah, you're going to have to find someone else. Then, of course, a talk with Jay led to, of course, Jimmy not wanting Jay to influence him to the point of like how Roman used to influence Jay, right? And Jimmy went out of his way and became LA Knight's partner. So we're going to get that, obviously. But our first matchup of the evening was Lyra Valkyria coming face-to-face with Roxanne Perez. 1 week after Perez provided a distraction that cost Valkyria her match against Rodriguez, the NXT exports wrote the latest chapter in their rivalry when they squared off in a singles competition with I thought there was more to that. They just kind of reading that felt weird. Anyway, early on, Rodriguez was barred from ringside after, of course, getting caught interfering on the Prodigy's behalf. Of course, tripping her up. And, of course, getting the whole sent out of here thing, which I love. I love that gag. It did not have a negative effect on the heel, though, as Perez targeted the injured back and neck of her opponent. See, Valkyria, ever resilient, absorbed everything Perez threw at her and recovered and delivered Nightwing for the win. The Judgment Day duo attacked the victor after the bell, though, punishing her for the win until Bayley made her turn and cleared the ring. Basically cleared the ring of the heels. She incorporated elements of her NXT persona before appearing to hesitate momentarily. Shaking it off, she hit the ringside area, hugging everyone, including Corey Graves, giving him a kiss on the head. I wish it was Michael Cole. She hugged the ring announcer. She hugged the referee. She even hugged the fucking security guard. She was so happy. Hugged the fans. Bayley, the huggable Bayley, is back in some way, shape, or form. We don't know how. Seeing this match, of course, this match was fun, of course. There were people who were chanting for Roxanne. That's fucking crazy to me, too. He had some Roxanne chants as well. That was coming from the section that was next to us. So we were in section like 27 or 29 29. And they were section 27. They were like right next to us and they were the heels. They were chanting, It was a whole like buddy group fucking thing and it was so amazing. We also had a backstage confrontation between Stephanie Vakir and the Kabuki Warriors and of course Io Sky, which Asuka volunteered Kairi Sane for a match against Vakir and Vakir accepted and Adam Pearce was like, it's official. But yeah. Valkyria wins against Perez in a B match, and I agree. We were there. We were fucking all excited for this. And, yeah, I mean, having Bayley return was a big excitement. We all loved Bayley coming back in some way, shape, or form. It was great to see them do their shit. And, I just love this. We were all chanting for Bayley. It was exciting to have her return here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Amazing. Amazing. Writing their latest chapter on Monday Night Raw, the latest in the rivalry between Penta and the New Day, saw the Masked Luchador square off with the former WWE champion Kingston. Interference early from Waller and Xavier Woods at ringside allowed the heels to seize control of the match entering the commercial break. What is it? The New Day, I don't know. But during the commercial break, it wasn't aired, but during the commercial break, the New Day and Grayson Waller cut a promo. I couldn't hear much of what it was about. But Xavier expressed, of course, having surgery on his neck, which is true. I've seen the picture, disgusting. But again, it was great to see Austin Creed in the ring. Kofi Kingston saying he's the hometown hero. No, he's not. He's a Patriots fan, respectively. But again, going up against somebody like Penta, yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. Back from the timeout, Penta rallied, taking the fight to Kingston as chants of New Day sucks rained down from the stands. And of course, that was actually our section that started that one. Yeah, the New Day sucks started like right here when when they did this New Day sucks chant, we got that going. The guy behind me started it. And then everybody fell into it. We wanted to get it earlier because, like, when they came out, but never happened. And it never stuck. You know what I mean? They went to commercial right as we were going New Day Sucks. And we kept it on for a little bit, but it never got big. The back and forth continued until Penta knocked Woods off the apron, and Graves, as Graves put it on commentary, re-aggravated the neck injury. Seconds later, Cero Miedo delivered the Mexican Destroyer for the definite crowd-pleasing victory. Of course, a C+, because they really don't know what they're doing. But too much of the match took place during the commercial break for it to really make an impact. Penta getting the win felt like a foregone conclusion before the bell rang, no matter how much backup Kingston had. The heels are a ton of fun, but from the credibility standpoint, unfortunately, they do not have much to speak of, which is true. They don't. Not that much, really. Backstage, though, Jimmy, obviously, I told you about this one, too. Also, I'm hoping that Roman Reigns comes back during that tag team match. The Usos and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So, yeah. I agree. C+. I didn't know most of it took place during the commercial break. Again, we didn't see it from Netflix. We were there at the fucking event. So, like, you know, anyway. It was great. It was great. This match was fun. Everybody loves Penta. Of course, there were some Penta fans. There was a guy, big guy, who was dressed up as Penta. Of course, I wanted to give him a Seattle medal, but we were already in a conversation with our pal Brandon. This one, oh boy, do I have a lot to talk about for this one, man. Oh my God. I have some fucking good things to say about this. So, why don't I tell you guys what the hell happened before I tell you from our point of view. So, I guess you could say Punk and AJ have never officially teamed together. And the last time we seen Becky and Seth team up together was Becky and Seth teamed up at Extreme Rules against Lacey Evans, Baron Corbin in 2019. Ahead of their colossal mixed tag team match Saturday at WrestlePalooza, World Champion Seth Rollins and Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch came face-to-face with their rivals, CM Punk and AJ Lee. The latter duo interrupted the heels to a big ovation. Chants of AJ's husband poured from the stands as Punk took a backseat to his wife. The best in the world questioned whether the champions would set their egos aside and present a united front. Rollins told Punk that Lee is the best decision he has ever made in his entire personal life. Inserting her in the feud, though, was the worst thing he has ever done professionally. Lee said she would not be there if Rollins had not used Lynch as his personal bodyguard, to which the man questioned how healthy her previous injured neck was. How are you going to feel when I pummel her in the face? What you should be worried about is not even what you should be worried about is not even I know what I'm going to do next. She would then go on to give this infamous line, and this was so fucking perfect. I'm a Puerto Rican from New Jersey. Sometimes I shank a check. That was fucking top notch. And mind you, we didn't even fucking hear that. Everybody was chanting so loud for AJ that we didn't hear her say that line. And you can even play the clip and hear the fans chanting. So I waited until I got a post of that to show to the people in front of us, who happened to be a woman and her boyfriend, of course, CM Punk and AJ fans. So I went down to and I showed her that this is what AJ said when everyone was like chanting. She said, I'm a Puerto Rican from New Jersey. Sometimes I shank a chick. And yo, she was like, that girl was amazing. Whoever they are, shout out to you guys. You guys are fucking amazing. And I hope you guys got that picture that you wanted. I took a couple pictures for people. Sometimes I shank a chick. Rollins tried to plant the seeds of tension, telling Lee of her husband he has a habit of leaving when things let him down. He ate a slap from Lee, and his eyes bulged in disbelief. Lynch refused to fight Lee because Rollins would use the same thing that Punk would say on SmackDown to kind of bring back. Walking out on Rollins as, you know, this was never their idea. Yada, yada, yada. Leaving the world champion to flee from Punk, because Punk would shove his face in. Lynch re-entered the ring, delivered a manhandle slam to Lee, and slapped Punk to wrap up the segment. And I think it's B+ because it went on for too long, but to me as a fan watching it live, in person, A+. A+, plus. All the pluses you can add to that A. Now, let's go back and do this again, but this time from my point of view. So from where I'm watching, obviously, right up in about that section over, or right here, or somewhere in this set. Yeah, right there. You could see my logo shit right there. I think it's right there. Actually. Somewhere in the vicinity, like, somewhere in the vicinity. Okay? Somewhere in the vicinity. Actually, you do see us in John Cena's first, you do see us right here. Wait. Where was it? I think Cena's blocking us. That's why. Okay, I don't know. You saw us. I saw myself for a minute. Wait. Yeah, we're right there. So you guys see it? We're right there. Actually, let me. Move it over. Yeah, we're right there. You guys see us in the back. We're right here. We're right close by, right in that angle. That Q shirt with the hat, that's me. That's 100% me. This right here, right in this vicinity, that's me. Okay? I just wanted to like show you guys. But anyway, back to that. Back to the Rollins, you know. You guys can see us. Okay, anyway. So, two things actually I want to mention. Becky and CM Punk. Shout out to you guys. All right? Big shout out to you guys. I'm going to tell you why. Becky saw us twice. Once, when she came out with Rollins first, Rollins was giving the introduction, right? And obviously we were booing the fuck out of him. And Becky would like look like she's like the Statue of fucking Liberty, right? So she would stand. Actually, let me give you guys a better like reach up here for this. Oh my god, I haven't done this in a while. Hold on. Let me make sure the camera fucking... Let me check the camera real quick. Okay. So, she's, like, standing. Okay? Fuck. She's standing, like, holding the title, looking, you know, like, looking at that shit, right? Looking around. And then, like, as she's standing there, because, mind you, we're from an angle, so, like, best way I can say is... I'll say like I'm doing now. I'm looking at the camera, of course, right? So we're off into the corner right over here, right? She's standing here and she actually turns and looks at us. Gives us the most disrespectful side eye I could ever possibly like say. She's so side eyes that she like looks at us, like gives us that side eye, you know, gives us that side eye over there before turning face after us chanting. The second time, I'll bring the camera down. Hold on. Okay. Oh, holy fuck. Can't believe I had to readjust. All right. Back to action. Let me fix that camera again. Hold on. Okay. The second time she stared at us was when we were telling Rollins that nobody likes you. And I gave the signature, and you see it in the clip. You guys can... I don't want to play it because copyright. So, you actually see it when they said, no one likes you. You can see me in the YouTube video. Go back and watch it. I'm like this. My arms are out. No one likes you. My hands are going like this, right? And that was the time that Becky turned and saw me again. Okay? And giving me a mean face. And that was perfect. She was staying in character. CM Punk, shout out to you, motherfucker. Shout out to you. Your wife is beautiful, and we almost had a therapy chant. I was almost close to doing a therapy chant, but I'll save that for later. So, it was right here. The first time CM Punk looked in our direction was right here. He's looking directly at us. Fuck, he's looking at Rollins. CM Punk comes in and says, hello, welcome to our show, motherfucker. No. He, of course, we don't have to, think about it. Actually, screw it. Hopefully the audio doesn't, I'll play it.
Hello, everybody. I am AJ's husband.
So when he did the AJ's husband bit, all right, we got the AJ's husband bit, and he said, "I'll allow it." AJ, and I was like, AJ's husband, and I had to give him the point. I had to like give him the point, so he would look at me, and I pointed my thing, my fingers up, and I'm pointing at him, and fucking, he is eating that shit up. He is literally eating that shit the fuck up. He's allowing that shit to go. He lets that go for a little bit.
She is.
And
Introduction as to who she is. No explanation needed. They came and they. And it sounds like they came to see her, and they sure as hell know her name.
Yep. And you can see us right fucking there. You can see us right fucking there. Oh, yeah. This was the first time. So, you can see me. You guys see me. I want you to see this clip. Let me actually mute it. You guys can see this clip. So, I'm right there, all right? You guys see this. I'm right here, okay? We got the clip, right? Now, watch that. I shout out Punk's name. He looks directly into my direction. That's the first time he looks in my direction. I said, CM Punk. He looked directly at my fucking direction. And I was pointing at him. I was like, yes, finally. That's the first time. And he was head nodding me, and I was like, yeah, that was so perfect. I love that. Thank you, Punk. Thank you for the acknowledgement. And I, of course, the second time was even better. So the second time that Punk noticed me was when we were chanting there was two things that was being chanted. The first one was AJ Lee, AJ Lee, right? And then the other chant would be later, because Rollins would get, and this is where the kind of dragged on a bit, right? Rollins was trying to plant the seeds of tension, right? Telling Lee of her husband. He has a habit of leaving things let things down. When he got to that, like when he got to, you think I'm threatened by her? This was after, mind you, she literally said, I'm a Puerto Rican from Jersey. Sometimes I shank a chick. Rollins then tries to fucking butt in. Also, Constipated chant was started in the section next to us. Just to throw that out. The section next to us started the Constipated chant. And AJ was taken back by every single word she says. We are going to deliberately bring back. Okay? I think she's getting used to that too. And Punk is just sitting back, watching, laughing, having a fun time like we are. The second time Punk looks at me is when the chant, which only got a little bit. It got just a tiny bit. It wasn't started by our section, but it got a tiny chant. Is when Rollins was talking about how she's not a threat, and obviously we were saying no, and then the chant went on as "she will kill you," and it was coming from our general area, right? I think it was the section next to us who started that chant too, and we started going and we started clapping, and I was going like this, and fucking Punk looks in our direction again, laughing. Because it's so fucking true. And he loves it.
In this ring, I don't know what's going to happen, Saturday. I won 2 titles. Be worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I Jersey. Sometimes I ship it. Can't help it.
Okay. So, hopefully I don't copyright me, please. I want to stay. After this, Rollins would set attention, and this is when we get the whole "she will kill you," and fucking Punk is looking over in our direction because that's where most of it is. And I love this because most of the shots it's this shot, it's this promo itself, the full segment. You might as well just go and watch for yourselves. The full segment itself, you can see when you look in between Becky and Seth, right in between Becky and Seth, you see me and my cousins right next to each other. You will see us clear as day. You can tell who it's us. Where I'm wearing a white shirt with Spaceman. There's a squared right there, white shirt squared with this literal cap on. But yeah, this was 100% an A to me. And you know what? We switching the grade here, guys. It's an A+, of course, as you know. So excited for this. Again, everybody involved did their part right. Thank you, CM Punk. Thank you, Becky Lynch, for actually looking in our direction when we were chanting. I really love that. I appreciate all of that. And I appreciate what you guys do in the ring for every wrestling fan. Thank you again. We're fucking way past Penta. Dragon Lee took on El Grande Americanos. Plural. See, Americano controlled Monday's match with Lee. And of course, the two matches that I went and got, food was the Penta, the Penta Kofi match and this match. Americano controlled Monday's match with Dragon Lee in the opening moments, wearing him down and attempting to keep him grounded. The latter, though, launched himself through the ropes into the opponent, launching both men onto the commentary table. I was like, what did I come back and miss? They were on the commentary table. Shit. Entering the commercial break. The combatants traded chops, tearing into each other's chests before Lee delivered a Liger bomb for a near fall. He added a double stomp but was unable to keep Americano down. Moments later, a second Americano appeared and delivered a kick that nearly cost the babyface the match. Luckily, AJ Styles, of course, I was supposed to bring my fucking gloves and I didn't. Ugh, that pissed me off, but it's okay. AJ Styles hit the ring and fended off the imposter, only to fall prey to another El Grande Americano. The first doppelganger appeared, shoved Lee on the top rope, and the real Americano scored the submission win. The third Americano delivered a hard right hand that looked oddly like a certain right hand that a certain Tyler Bate usually throws. Come to think of it, the other seems sort of like Pete Dunne. I wonder why, because we've already known who the fuck it was. Graded a B+. It was alright for what it was worth. The match itself was excellent. Liquid Kaiser is, against all odds, better at this gimmick than Chad Gable. And that is saying something. He worked well with Lee and had the fans in Springfield living and breathing on spots and near falls. That one with the top that would have been amazing. I would have loved them to crash through the announce table, but whatever. This is where we got what was going to be the therapy chant. Valkyria overheard a shouting match between Bayley, only to walk in on the role model in her locker room by herself. Now sporting a half black, half white jacket, Bayley unloaded verbally on her former friend, leaving Valkyria aghast at the irate version of the future Hall of Famer she just encountered. So Bayley is splitting her personalities. Think of this as like Marshall Mathers coming basically like between his Eminem, his personal self, and Slim Shady. Think of it like that, right? So Bayley is kind of toyed in between the hugger gimmick and the role model gimmick. And she's kind of trying to put a balance in between both of them. Just think of it like that, and you guys will definitely understand what the fuck is going on with Bayley's gimmick, or what the fuck is really going on with Bayley in general. I spent a lot of money, man. I'd bought 2 beers, $70 on fucking a shirt and this hat. Not both, just like in total. And like 3 pizzas that were mid. But thank you, Mass Mutual. Stephanie Vakir and Kairi Sane were next. 2 of the most celebrated women's wrestlers of the last decade squared off as Vakir clashed with Sane, one of my, of course, birthday sisters. Me and her share the same birthday. Just 5 days before squaring off with Io Sky for the vacant Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza, La Primera controlled the action, entering the commercial, downing the pirate Disney princess with a double stomp on the apron. Afterwards, the number 1 contender attacked her, continue her attack, delivering the Mariota. That sounds like a fucking I forget. No. The Mariora? I can't fucking say that. Okay. Mariora. It's a fucking weird ass word to say. Anyway, in the corner and setting her up for the SVB. But Zayn escaped and took down her opponent, driving an elbow into her chest in the corner. Vakir cut off an insane elbow attempt, but ate a double stomp for her troubles. The babyface reeled with a dragon screw leg whip, added to the rope, that wiped out both her and her opponent and Asuka, who was at ringside. Then followed up, of course, with the signature move that everybody was wanting for, the Devil's Kiss, as we counted to 10. And you could see us just for a bit before the camera pans and blocks us. After the match, Asuka teased entering the ring, but of course, Io interjected herself. Now, the SVB was followed, so Fakir got the victory. She argued with her friend until the Empress of Tomorrow exited and then stood face-to-face with her WrestlePalooza opponent. And everybody at the end was chanting Mommy, wanting to have Rhea Ripley come out because Rhea Ripley was actually backstage with Fakir before the match even started. So, everybody wanted to see Rhea Ripley here in Massachusetts. I wish she was out there. And you know what I wish too? I wish that this was more physical and this was more like, there wasn't more respect so that we can insert Rhea Ripley as like a special guest referee. So it even feels more intentional. Like Rhea Ripley is going to stand there and just let this play out. Two wonderful wrestlers. While she stands there playing the devil's advocate and watching as this shit happens so that when whoever wins that championship, she'll be next in line for. And it's gonna be Fakir. I'm telling you. I'm excited. Graves put over Fakir as one of, if not the best women's wrestler in the world. She's clearly a priority for WWE, even if her booking or lack thereof over the last month or so has been baffling. What looks to be one-sided showing coming out of the break developed into a strong match that highlighted the level of worker that Zayn is, despite being presented as a sidekick or a middle woman in the ongoing saga of Sky and Asuka. You'll get my predictions Thursday, so you know what, I'll get to talk about that too. But this is great, a B+, and I agree. For what it's worth, and it hypes up the Women's World Championship match for for Stephanie Fakir. Sometimes I get these women's confused, man. For Stephanie Fakir and Io Sky. But now it's time for our main event. Knight and Jimmy Uso fared as well early on Monday's main event as one would expect for a duo teaming for the first time. Breaker and Reed dominated the action into and out of the commercial break. Big Jim, on the defensive for most of the bout, finally created separation and made the hot tag to L.A. Knight. Yeah! He didn't even look in our direction. Fuck that. That megastar fuck. The megastar, though, exploded into the match, drawing a huge ovation as he took the fight to his opponents. You had a bunch of yeah and yeets. Just wait. Knight delivered a top rope elbow drop, and Uso followed with a big splash to Reed. But Breaker broke it up as the referee broke up the referee's count to save the match. The badass added a shoulder tackle onto the floor that wiped LA Knight out, allowing Reed to deliver the jagged edge win over them. But if you thought this was all over with, guess again. Because after the match, Breaker would deliver a spear that grounded Jimmy just before his little brother Jay hit the ring with a steel chair. Everybody was eating in the Mass Mutual Center. I tell you, boy, he cleared the heels out of the ring and checked on his brother before Knight re-entered the square circle, grabbed the chair, and was fiending to hit it. And everybody was like, oh my God, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. But Jay turned around and he dropped it. He shook Jay's hand before then dropping him with the PFT revenge for the rival's spear from last week. Yeah, ain't going to take too kindly to that, huh? Now, are you? Partner? Reed and Breaker defeated Knight and Jimmy Uso in this match. And this was great at B. But just before this, Balor, McDonough grilled Mysterio about his relationship with Americano, what the masked man expects in return for his assistance. But then, of course, as the tag team champions left, Rusev inserted himself and announced that he shall become the next Intercontinental Champion. And I want to fucking see it. I want somebody to beat this motherfucking Dom up. He needs an ass whooping. If it's not going to be from his daddy, and it's not going to be from it's not going to be from John Cena anytime soon, or AJ, give us Rusev. Fucking, I don't give a fuck at this point. All things considered, though, rounding out the show, this was great. There was no needed for a dark match because, well, let's be honest. I mean, they gave us a main event showing. So, I thought that was fair enough. But, what was the results? Well, this was a fairly strong go-home show at the WrestlePalooza. Springfield brought their A game, and so did everybody involved. Cena, Punk, Lee, Rollins, Lynch, the Usos, Breaker, Vakir, Sky, all have high-profile matches on the show, and were all appropriately featured in this episode, which is a great send-off for those that they need to hype up WrestlePalooza. This is the best way to do it. Both big promo segments were hits. In reaction was solid across the board, and the fans in Springfield were thoroughly engaged. The show that effectively creates intrigue, such as an ongoing drama between the Kabuki Warriors and Sky, or the budding rivalry between Uso and Knight, and drums up interest of a potential historically significant premium live event, is always a win. So the grade I can really give it, of course, is a B+ as well. I think it's a strong B+, even with 2 A+ on the board. There was a couple of C's and mainly some B's, but again, it held up strong for an episode that was a go-home show. Some of it let down, some of it not, but again, it's all worth it in the end, especially with WrestlePalooza just 5 days, or actually, well, now 4 days away. I would recommend all of you, if you want to see us in picture, live in color, this is probably the video on YouTube you want to go back and see. Go back and see the full segment between Punk, Lee, Seth Rollins, and Becky. It was in the middle, and it stuck. It was fucking perfect. Also, check out Cena's promo in there. And I think if there's any in-ring action you want to see that's kind of worth giving a damn, I would say maybe the opening match. The opening match was all right. It wasn't that bad. Bayley came back. That was good. And probably the women's matches. Honestly, the women's matches were top notch. They were really good. But Cena's promo was a Kickstarter for us, and it was great. I wish he had a match. I wish he was out more. But hey, he was here wearing the hat that I'm wearing today. And we'll probably be wearing, if I go again. But until then, the future is unseen. The Unseen 17. Go check out my Instagram post, of course. I've tagged a bunch of people in there. I got a bunch of photos with a bunch of people. So did Lewis. I'm going to ask him to send me more so then I can edit the photos and put more up later. I'm going to also work to get some of those videos from the show itself up on YouTube eventually, somehow. But WrestlePalooza is 4 days away. I will be giving you guys the prediction live stream on Thursday. I don't know why it was taking that long to come up with that. Let's just see what matches we got so far for WrestlePalooza. I think it's... Let's see. WrestlePalooza 2025. What do we got? 5 matches, that's it? We're probably going to get one more from SmackDown. But this is looking pretty fucking good. This is looking pretty good here. I'm loving it. I am loving it. Also, it will be live, the first premium live event on ESPN Saturday, September 20th, 3 days before my birthday, 7 p.m. Eastern, live from Indianapolis. Check it out. Make sure you guys are there. We'll be breaking all of this down, of course. So, check that out on Thursday at 6 p.m. I will be here to give you guys who I think is going to win and who's going to be walking into WrestlePalooza and out of WrestlePalooza with a victory. Also, SmackDown Summary will be given to you live early in the morning. I don't want to say very early, but early in the morning enough so that you guys can early enough so you guys can just, so I can be free to go out and party. So, I will see you guys on Thursday for the predictions. I will see you guys Saturday, and I'll see you Sunday for the review of WrestlePalooza. This has been the Raw review. If you guys could do me a favor, like always, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, turn those post notifications so you never miss a stream. John Cena, thank you for an amazing time last night. I will always and forever cherish the moment that I was there to see you one last time. Peace!